Okay, guys, so welcome to another episode of this podcast. Today we having a different kind of conversation, and I wanted to get more intimate, so that's why you could see the setting kind of change, and I trying to be more closer to you guys, to see my knees a little bit, and be doing it different today. But today we're talking relationships, and this could also flow over into friendships and that kind of stuff, like choosing friends and stuff. But this one in particular is for emotional relationships, like when you're finding a partner and that kind of stuff. And nobody's perfect, so you have to use it and apply it to yourself. But I think it's something worth talking about that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. So today we're talking sparks, flames, and the patterns that we ignore. And this is a deep podcast. If it was subsets in school, it would be like in the middle of spirituality, emotionally, and understanding yourself, and looking back at who we are and understanding who we truly are, so we can make better decisions in the future. If this is something that you want to listen to or you want to talk about, stay tuned. So sparks, flames, and the patterns we ignore. Okay, when it comes to relationship, most people say they're waiting for a spark, a feeling or a rush or a moment that feels like this is it, But lately, I've been really thinking about this, and what if a spark isn't a sign? What if a spark is just a pattern? Because sometimes what we call fate is just familiarity disguised as excitement. Not every spark is guidance. Some sparks are warnings. A lot of the sparks are warnings and are red flags. A spark could excite you, but only intention could actually sustain that. So a spark is an illusion, It's something that we look for, that it happens so quick and it's gone. See, from the beginning of time, our culture trained us to chase sparks, bro. All these Disney movies and romance movies, they made it romantic. Music made it emotional. Dating culture made it a requirement. And we're taught that if it doesn't feel intense, it isn't real. So we trust our feelings more than wisdom. We trust chemistry more than character, and excitement more than alignment. But just because something feels powerful doesn't mean it's good for you. And if you have a pattern of choosing the wrong partners, it might not be bad luck that you have. It might be a spirit recognizing something familiar, not necessarily something healthy, because spirits attract and pattern reveal what we still need healing from. Like when you go to the club, and out of all the people who you make friends with the other guy or the other person who smokes, and then both of you go on for a smoke. This is something that's real. These spirits actually see each other in public and like, oh, you here? And then they go and want to lime, But it comes a point where growth looks like humility. We need to stop asking, why do I keep meeting the wrong people? And start asking, why do I keep choosing the same energy or attracting the same energy? Patterns aren't always punishment. They could be information. And a principle I like to live by is we need to use our past experiences to discern patterns we need to change. Not to shame ourselves to relive regret, but to admit maybe my instincts a little shaky, and maybe I need to fix these things. I need to refine these things. Sometimes maturity is second guessing your next decision because your past decisions already showed you a pattern. Healing often begins when we stop romanticizing what keeps breaking us. A spark is an emotion, and a flame is intention. A spark reacts and a flame is built. A spark says, I feel this, and a flame says, I choose this. And that's a big difference, you know. A spark only turns into a flame when it's intentional. But a flame, sorry, but a flame starts intentionally. Sparks impress you, while flames transform you. Sparks burn really fast, you know, it's gone in a second, whilst flames burn long. You know, like there's the eternal flame and the eternal spark. So, for instance, when I got married, I only knew my wife for 6 months. And I remember early on in the relationship, she would ask, how do I know I was ready? Or, are you sure you love me? And I was honest and I said, in the world's definition, sorry. I was honest and I said, in the world's definition of love, I do. But in my definition of love, I see potential to love. Because to me, love wasn't just a feeling. Love was a destination. Love was a responsibility and a journey. Seeing potential to love, for me, was way stronger than thinking you already love. Because one is an emotion, and the other is a vision. You know, emotion reacts and visions commit. And how does this affect your relationship? Is when love is treated like a feeling, mistakes feel like deal breakers. But when love is treated like a journey, mistakes become learning curves, not mountains. And that's what relationships are. No relationship is perfect. It takes time to get to know somebody. So you need to see it as a journey. Instead of saying, you ruined this, we need to say we're refining something, you know, we're building something. Sparks leave when it gets cold. Wow, that's a bar. I'm going to write that down. Write that down. Sparks leave when it gets cold. Flames stay long enough to build something that's real. And the hard truth is, a lot of us didn't feel in love because we didn't feel enough. You know, we feel because we trusted our feelings more than discernment. We believe chemistry over character and excitement more than alignment. And that's why we feel. We was blinded by love. You know, there's a song that says, it takes a fool to learn that love don't love nobody, you know, and it's a spark that they're talking about. Sometimes growth could sound like this. Just because it feels right doesn't mean it is right. Not everything that excites you is a sign to you. You don't need a stronger spark. You need a stronger flame. You don't need to keep finding a spark. You need to start a fire. That's what you need to do. Sorry. You don't need someone who excites you for a moment. You need someone who willing to build over time. So pay attention to your patterns, you know, really question your instincts, especially if they led you wrong before. Because sparks fade, but flames, when built intentionally, can last. Remember, the real flex isn't falling in love fast. It's choosing to build love on purpose and sticking it out no matter what, you know. And love comes in so many waves, you know. We need to be prepared for everything that is going to hit us on this journey. So it has to be intentional. You know, there isn't just a feeling behind it. You know, no marriage is built off a feeling behind it, because there's a lot of times where you don't feel it. And that's just the ugly truth, because we live in life, right? So when we building together, we can't build parallel. We need to come together. And you mentioned two different lives, two different people who didn't know each other when they were kids most of the times, and they grew up differently, and now we're trying to become one life, and that could always cause friction. So it needs to be intentional. Let me know in the comments. Tell me what you guys think. Let's have a discussion about this, because I really want to explore this idea some more. Tell me what you guys think. If you know someone who needs this information, send them this information, and feel free to message me about a next topic that you guys would like me to cover. My DMs are open. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Short and sweet. I had to go to work now. I'm late for work, but thank you.